Broadcasting from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, hosted by a big, bald, bearded, barbell lifting, bourbon drinking son of a bitch. The podcast that mixes fitness with pleasure. This is Barbells and Bourbon.
This is a beautiful mic.
Welcome to the Barbells and Bourbon podcast. I am your big, bald, bearded, barbell lifting, bourbon drinking son of a bitch host, Sean. And I'm here with my boy, Eddie.
What up? What up?
Eddie, how far did you drive to get here today?
Well, I'm about 6.5 hours away.
You
and I made it.
Crazy bastard.
I'm kidding. I'm 15
6
minutes
away.
I'm 5.5 minutes.
5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I appreciate your commitment in the travels to get here. So first question I have for you, Eddie. You're getting on a plane. There's one seat left. It's next to me. You sit down. We do the awkward elbow bump, leg bump. I brush your knee. And I say, "Oh, what's up, man? What do you do?" What's your answer?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to be able to fit in the seat next to you, number one, because you're extremely way too big.
Sorry, sir.
So
you have to get off the plane.
when I squeeze myself in there and sit like this,
very comfortably,
with no ball space.
How do you respond when somebody asks what you do?
I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I sat next to a gorilla like yourself.
What do you do for a living?
So I do graphic.
So Eddie, what do you do? What do you do in your day job?
I do graphic design.
Do you work for a specific company? Do you do this as like a little freelance thing? What do you do?
Yeah, so I work for a company called PCNA, and it's been a long journey. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What got you into it? Like, what made you want to be a graphic designer?
So I did construction right out of high school, and it wasn't my thing at all. It's just not my thing. I always was very artistic. I love to draw. I always liked computers and just like video stuff. And so my family always said, like, you need to get into something with computers. And I was like, I just happened to get into the construction thing. I had family members that were a part of it. And so I got in there, and I was there for maybe 2 years, and it I wasn't created for that. So my wife at the time I wasn't married to her, but my wife now, she was down in school, and she was like, they have a graphic design program. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try it. So I ended up getting in there, long story short, graduated, and then couldn't find a job, and then finally got that job with PCNA. At the time, it was called Leeds, and so I worked with them for 14 years, and one day they called me up, and they said, "See ya."
After 14 years.
14 years.
Wow.
No,
they take loyalty seriously there, huh?
Yes. So it was an extreme shock, and so I could go on a rant for like forever with it. Like, seriously, I could go on and on and on.
An hour.
Seriously, like, so I didn't know what to do. I had a son, and I think at the time, we had Faith. No, we didn't have Faith, I don't think yet. Anyway, so we had Nico, and I think she might have been pregnant with Faith, and no job. It's like, what do you do?
No pressure, buddy.
Zero pressure. Yeah, sarcastically. So, so I was on unemployment, the whole nine, and then I end up getting a job with my cousin. He does construction, and it's funny because we all joke around about it. I don't know if he'll ever see this podcast, but
he will.
I wasn't created for it. Let's just put it like that.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
The environment in construction versus the environment behind a computer.
1,000,000%.
I can't think of anything that's more polar opposite.
Literally, if there's a heaven and a hell, I'm not saying like them.
Right.
I'm saying just the opposite.
Yeah. So
It's
how
completely.
did the construction environment fit into your moral compass and your kind of your attitude and your personality?
I mean, like, and not at all trying to like bash any of the guys. I love them all.
No
I
worries.
wish them all the best, and it's just that lifestyle was just different than like what I'm about now.
Yeah.
And so it just it was let's just say it was out of my comfort zone, which in turn has ex- literally pushed me to do everything I'm doing now. So all that aside, I'm back at my old job. It's the same company, but they're based out of Florida, and it's still the same company with different places all over the United States. And so I'm back there, and uh, I'm currently doing woodworking thing. I'm doing videography. I'm doing some ministry stuff. I'm doing whatever, basically, what God's trying to pull me
I was gonna
toward.
say you've alluded to
Yeah,
God being in your
yeah.
life,
He's
and
he's the center of it, and it's changed my entire life for like the good. And even that period of time, I wouldn't want to go back to it at all. But it has molded me into where I'm at now because of that. Like I had to go through that. I don't want to say. I guess you could say like dark period. It was like a tough time in my walk, but it definitely put the test of putting literally my entire faith in Him.
yeah,
And like I don't think I've ever told anybody this, but there was a time where I didn't know what to do. I was so I don't mean to go off topic, but so I was going on interviews. They all knew I was trying to get out of there, and I mean, I went on interview and interview, couldn't get nothing, and it was like the worst period of time because it was like you couldn't get a job anywhere, and so, but yeah, so like I remember I was trying so hard, and I remember the one night I literally this is where like it gets like touchy. I'm a grown man. I literally was on my knees on the ground in my living room, pouring crying, like just tears everywhere. And I was like, I literally can't do this. Like, why? How come I can't get a job? I'm seeking. I mean, it talks about in the Bible, like you know, you have to seek like what you want. And I was seeking, but sometimes like the timing is just a little bit, it wasn't right. Like he was still preparing me. I really truly believe it. He still had me there for a reason. And I mean, I talked to all the guys and they all knew what I was about. Like
yeah,
there was no secret. And you know, like again, I'm not trying to like talk bad of them, but I got my fair share of like they were constantly on me about it. But that's fine though because uh and I I hope to believe that like even now that I'm doing the ministry stuff, I hope to believe that they're like watching it and they're like seeing that okay, this guy he was like regardless of whatever you want to say, like even when I was there, he's like phony or corny, but like now that I'm not there, I'm still walking that walk.
yeah,
I wasn't just talking about it. So I'm hoping that they see that and believe it or not, man, like your fruit's gonna come out on other people.
yeah.
Period. I mean, not to change the subject, but I'm gonna go toward you, and you literally were one of the biggest seeds in pushing me. This was before. I don't know if we were. I don't know if we were. If I was working the construction or if I was. I can't remember, but I remember talking to you,
Hmm.
and that's kind of how we got into the whole
Yeah.
fitness thing. And you were one of the biggest. I remember telling you, Sean, man, I want to do the video stuff. I want to do this. I want to do that, but I'm so scared. I remember
Yeah.
telling you like it was yesterday, and you were so gentle about how you approached it. Your delivery was spot on, but you were gentle. You weren't like pushy, but you were also like stern. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And you gave me a really good push to pursue that stuff. So like I can't personally thank you enough. Like it seriously means like the world to me.
Yeah.
And I know you probably hear it all the time with like all your clients and stuff,
Right.
and but it's seriously like it's amazing like how he uses people, man.
Hmm.
He used you in that
Yeah.
situation
I feel everybody's placed in your life for a
for a
reason,
reason.
and we found the reason I was
Yes.
placed in your life,
Yes.
and you've reciprocated the same
Yes.
thing with me. The more driven you are, and the more hobbies
Yep.
and little side gigs that you find, the more that I don't want to quit.
That's what I'm saying.
Iron sharpens iron.
That's
right?
what it is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
All right.
but it was, and then like, so like when we met, just to like kind of talk about like me and you, when we met, and like I'm not at all trying to sound arrogant, but like I can kind of get the vibe off somebody's who they are 5 seconds, 5 minutes in. Let's just say 5 minutes in, and I knew immediately we had a lot in common. I could just tell you were a good person, like good-hearted person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would watch you. I would literally watch you train people at the gym. And I mean, like I've been going to the gym for 10 plus years. And I was just, I'll admit, like I was off. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get Sean, man. I just like him so much, and I trust you so much. Like the proof's in the pudding with your clients. And that's what brought me. I was like, it was weird. It was like one day I was like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, I'm getting Sean.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy.
Yeah.
And your character and your drive, it naturally comes off. You don't have to try because that's who you are.
Right.
You're just that. Your character that's you.
Yeah. I think for me, anyways, what draws me to someone is when I see passion in them. And I don't mean like intimate passion.
Right.
I mean like a drive
To wanna get better.
constantly improve.
Exactly.
And I always say, I'm not on cruise control. I will never be on cruise control.
Yep.
I am foot to the floor,
Pedal to the metal.
trying to learn new things,
Yes.
trying to follow what my plan is, which is helping people
Exactly.
or growing internally. And I saw that in you too, because, you had all your little
Stuff
side
going
gigs
on.
and stuff going on. And that's what draws me to people is I don't like, and this is going to sound ignorant, but I don't
Hey, it's
like
the truth.
lazy people. And I will not be drawn to lazy people.
Right.
The people that are on cruise control, that don't want to improve, they're satisfied with their mediocre job and their mediocre life and their mediocre relationship.
Yep.
Why? Like, why is that good enough?
Yeah.
And I know it's not good enough for you.
Right.
Certainly not good enough for me. I mean, this podcast, I have enough going on.
I was gonna say you
people
have a
are
million
like,
things.
Sean,
What are you doing?
do you have time? I will
I'll
make
make
the
time.
time. I want it bad enough.
Right.
This isn't for me.
Yeah.
This is for you.
That's how I
and
am.
the next person that's sitting in your chair.
Yep.
It's for you guys to tell your stories.
Yep.
Because how many different platforms do you have to
Right.
do something like this?
Right.
The guy at the gym, your barber, a few people might hear your story,
Exactly.
your wife,
Anybody.
but getting all this out and the ability for people to relate
Yep.
to Eddie
Yep.
and to the next guest.
Yep.
Saying, oh my God, I work construction too. And it just didn't follow my lifestyle.
It just wasn't me.
Or
Yeah.
I lost my job and I had kids, or, God was calling me to do something else.
Yep.
Those stories are going to resonate with somebody else.
Well, that's what I always say too. Like, do not ever limit what God can do, man. If He wants it done, it's happening.
Yep.
Like, period. So, like, I mean, just in general, like, I could feel, like I was telling you, like before we started, I could feel the energy. I could feel like the spirit. Like, you have like this is going to be amazing what you're doing, and not to like kind of like go off subject, but like I'm trying to create my own little documentary with my story,
I love what
and
you're
I'm
doing.
I'm trying. Really at the base level, and I was telling my buddy the other day. I think I was telling you, I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't. I have no idea. I'm pretty much a one-man show. I mean, I've my family and stuff, and I know anybody would help me. And this is like going back to like where I was at with construction. The best thing about whenever you go through a tough time is you can always look back at that negative time and be like, man, that happened, but like look how much growth has come from it. So like that's where I'm falling back on, okay, I was in construction, it wasn't really me, and I'm falling back on that past history of like yeah, you got me out of it before. I'm gonna trust you. You're gonna get me through this. You gifted me with video work, you know, the ability to be creative. You gifted me with all that, so let me use it. You know what I mean? And I think, and I trust me, dude. I'm the prime example of like a person to be in fear. Like, I mean, I've talked to you a million times, and it's literally it's so simple, but I know it's easy for me to say it, but it's simple, but it's not simple. It's literally no joke. The only thing you could possibly do is just step into it.
Yeah.
Literally. And that's what I tell everybody now, just step into it.
Being afraid is okay.
It's okay. Everybody, I'm sure you're terrified. I'm sure, like, whatever.
Absolutely.
I'm terrified every day I go to work.
Yeah.
Like, man, wonder what's going to happen today. Get through it.
But you know what? That keeps you on
Sharp.
your toes.
It keeps you sharp.
It does. Because if you are comfortable in every single situation you were in,
Yep.
bad things are going to creep in.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you're not going to be prepared for it.
Exactly.
But if you're nervous, if you're afraid,
Yep.
if you're putting so much pressure on yourself to succeed, you're going to be so self-aware of what's going on. You're going to be just like,
I can't do
not
it
today.
Because that's where I was at. I was like, I was constantly in my own head, and like that devil wants to pull. He's tricking you. He's literally tricking you. He's saying you're not good enough, whatever it is, like fitness wise, financial wise, business wise, family wise. Like he always is trying to like say you're not good enough. And I mean, personally, for me, I used to be like that type of person where he would be in my head and I would believe everything he said. But the second I found God and I stepped into his will and not mine, man, it is wild. Like I couldn't do it without like all the struggles and all like the whatever. It molded me into who I am today. And like a lot of it too is like my kids. Like I want to be a good example for them. And
Oh, they're watching you, man.
they're watching.
They are absolutely watching you.
Yeah, we talked about it the other day, like whenever you were saying about your son and like how he's lifting and stuff. Like that is literally no joke. I've let chills under here. Like that is I absolutely can't take it. Like makes me emotional. Like when somebody's doing good. That's why, like, I mean, I totally get what you're saying about like the laziness and stuff. I definitely have been trying to like somewhat like. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm learning that no matter what you say or do, you can't change somebody. Like, you could help. You could be like, okay, let's put it like this. The person that you're talking to has to want it. If they are not wanting it or open, you're talking to the wall.
They're going to resent you.
Exactly.
Because you're trying to change them.
And I'm saying that because of, again, like the past, I've tried with so many people, like, to push, you know, certain things, mainly like God and stuff, and they would be turned away from it. And I guess I'm like contradicting myself because I'm talking about it so much, but I'm passionate about what he's done. And like my goal is not to like, of course I would love people to like come to Christ, but my goal was just to like share what he has done in my life, and hopefully in turn, you know what I mean, you could take a piece of that.
Yeah.
And just think about it. Like the whole thing about how I came to him was a thought.
Yeah.
So it was actually my one good buddy, and I'm not going to get in like the logistics of it, but he basically was kind of like what I'm doing on here. I'm just talking about it. I'm talking about what happened, a little bit about my life and how he has transformed me. And like that's my goal. It's not to be like, look, you're doing this bad, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, dude, I used to drink all the time. I'm not all the time. I was a big bourbon. Like, I loved bourbon. But
not that there's anything wrong with that.
I'd love to just, not that there's anything wrong with it, but, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with drinking. Yeah. There's a problem whenever, my issue is when you're
It becomes
sinning.
a problem when it's a problem.
When it's a problem. If you're getting out of control, you're drinking and driving, you're sinning, you know what I mean? Like, that's where, and again, it's none of my business.
Right.
It's none of my business, but it's, you do what you know what I mean? Like you live your life, it's your life. You know what I mean? So, but.
And that's, the whole theme of this show
I love it.
Is the mix fitness with pleasure.
I love it. Yeah.
Because you can do both.
Exactly.
And I'm proof of that.
Exactly.
I don't follow things 100% all the time.
I don't think
I
anybody
enjoy
does.
life.
Yeah.
In moderation.
Right.
And it works for me.
Yeah.
It's going to work differently for everybody. You have to know your boundaries and your relationships with food and alcohol and other things,
Right.
you know, to the point where it could become an addiction or something that you just can't live without.
Right.
That's
And that's
when
where
it
it's
becomes
a problem. Yeah.
and you have to be self-aware of that. But I want to touch on one thing that you said is, you know, if you're trying to change somebody. I just thought of this analogy when you were talking about that. I think of a really long hallway with 100 doors. If you crack a door, you're instinctually going to see what's behind that door.
Like walk through it. Or,
So,
well, yeah.
I want to keep the doors cracked
I love it because
and
it's,
see
if
people are going
don't
to
quit. Like basically
Right.
don't give up. Like that's how I feel too. Because I mean, I've talked to so many like friends and family members, and I'll never ever give up on anything or any of them. But they're just it does come to a point where you don't want to push them away. It's like reverse psychology.
Right.
So like when you're just all day, there's a balance. Let's just put it, the best way I can ever explain it is you have to have a balance. Same thing with that.
Yeah.
Just balance it. Like don't go out of control. Now, granted, I mean, I guess I'm a little biased because like even like with fitness, like you could say like, oh well, you're not balancing that. It's like, well, I mean, I guess so, but like it's fitness is something that's like good for you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just in my opinion, maybe people think I'm wrong, but
No,
you're
it's-
helping
I'm
yourself.
pretty sure you're right.
You're helping yourself, man.
Yeah.
Like you're eating good, and I mean, you're taking care of yourself, and it's the same. I always use the gym as an analogy because it's a perfect example. Think about this: we go into the gym, we lift weights, literally, no joke, tear our muscles, and they regrow.
Yeah.
So anything that you're doing, think about it in life. Anything that you're doing in life, you have to literally like rip it down, be uncomfortable, and then when it regrows, it gets bigger.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
That's the thing about taking chances. You know, people are so afraid of failing.
It's super.
It's not failure if you've learned something.
Take something from
It's
it.
only failure if you've learned absolutely nothing
nothing.
and change absolutely nothing.
Yes.
Then you've failed.
Yes.
But if you learn just 1% of something from that
You're getting
experience, you're growing.
And that's like even like with the, because I've had like like friends and stuff like say like kind of like how you are, man, you're doing so much, you're doing this and that, and I get the point of it because you're not giving like your full energy toward one specific thing, but like I told you before, we have so many different gifts, man.
Yeah.
Like all of us, but I'm saying like specifically for me and you, dude, we're gifted, man. We're
And
super blessed.
If you weren't to take chances with
everything,
the woodworking or
Right.
the graphic design,
Right.
how are you going to
gonna know?
expose those gifts?
That's what I
If
mean.
you're on cruise control with the windows up, looking straight ahead, you will never know what you're capable of.
You're never going to get to your
That's why I
destination.
keep
You're just-
trying new
yeah,
things.
Me too.
And
And that's
it's
what
unlocked so many opportunities.
Same, dude. And I don't know, like, who knows, man. I might, and I don't, and this is where I was like in the past. I would say, oh, I'm gonna give that up. I mean, I've done video work and like I've done like t-shirts, web design, all kind of stuff. And I mean, I guess back then I would say like, I just quit it.
Yeah.
But it's not like I look at it now like I'm not quitting it. Who knows? I might do the woodworking thing and be like, you know what? I don't really.
Just bumping your gain a little
That's
bit.
fine. Bumping my gains up. I'm bumping them up.
If it was only that easy.
Dude, I wish. I wish,
You
man.
want a little more?
Seriously, just. Whoop, whoop.
All right, so let's.
But-
We've been talking
yeah.
serious. It's time to turn the tables.
Yes.
Almost literally.
Right. We could turn it.
We're gonna arm wrestle.
Dude, look at them arms, and they're like pythons.
You're gonna be just fine.
If I
This
took
isn't-
my shirt off, I'm telling
This
you.
isn't win or loser. This is just for fun.
Right,
So
all right.
Let's just get the mics out of the way here.
If we
as
want-
much as you can.
Yeah. Does this go down at all? No. Here, let me just do this.
I want to. Here. I'm gonna. 'Cause I still want to be able to talk as we're doing this.
All right. This is funny, dude. Here, let me just twist this. Just never mind.
All right. There's no loser here.
Dude, your hands are huge.
All right. Here, let's get that mic up. So,
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna. You're already implying that you're gonna beat me
no.
because you like my arm. You know what I mean?
All right. Oh yeah, this isn't going to be a new way. All right. 1, 2, go. So, what motivates you
Beating you?
to get into the gym as much as you do.
You motivate me.
What do you listen to in your headphones at the gym? Come on, what do you listen to?
I don't know.
You don't know? You go to the gym every day. What are you listening to?
Why are you so strong, bro? Bro, you were strong. I thought I was strong, but you were really strong.
You so strong.
You're so strong boy. Man, I'm out of breath now. I know, because you're strong and you're in shape.
Well, Eddie,
I do need to get back on track here. I've been slacking a little bit, I'm not going to lie.
it's the new year.
But
No more excuses. Holidays
Yes.
are over.
you said, can I answer the questions? I think one of them was,
Now that you're
My
not
brain's
under
dead.
pressure anymore. What motivates you to get to the gym?
honestly, man, like,
Because I know every day is different,
yeah, for sure. Every day is different.
but for the most part, what gets you there?
What motivates me the most is just knowing that the results are coming. Like, honestly, like the past 2-3 months, I've had zero motivation. That's why don't base it off of feeling. You cannot base fitness or really life in general off of feeling. They are going to come and they're going to go.
Because results aren't going to come when you don't show up. Right?
Exactly. So like
Guaranteed.
we always say it, like when you walk,
yourself a chance.
that's what I mean. You walk through that door, you already won.
You got a chance.
Because like, I mean, and I guess it's different for everybody, but when I walk through that door, it's like I'm going to work. It's like time to punch in. And I know I'm going to give most days pretty much my 100%.
Yeah.
We're just wired like that. But that comes within time.
Right.
Like if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, but that's easy for you to say. You've been lifting for how many years? Just start. Again, go back to the start thing. Start
Give
and
it
just
time.
take it easy. Like give it some time.
Yeah. So, like the days that you're locked in,
I
have you found anything that leads up to that point? Whether it's your morning routine or how your day goes at work, the music you listen to. Like, is there something that you can sort of turn to get you in that zone?
I mean, definitely, I love music, man. I've always been like a music person. So like, you could listen to a song and it instantly just fires you up. I mean, it could be anything. Like you could be taking pre-workout or something, and it's just like boom, it kicked in. Like it's time to go. You're like, yes, like, and then like there's like again going back to like the bad days, I guess you could say. Those bad days, I love them.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to say that, but
almost-
you need it.
It's
Let's put it
almost
like that.
It's more of a victory.
Yes.
When you got through the bad one.
Yes, because going back to what I said before, the past, it comes back around. You're going to have a good day again. Yeah. It's like, okay, I pushed on a bad day. Like I gave it my all. I didn't have the greatest workout, but I'm still here. I'm still giving the effort. And mentally, I'm pushing past that. Yeah. And all those bad days, they all tally up. That's what's so beautiful about it. But then you can always go back to, okay, well, I'm going to have a good day tomorrow, most likely.
It's coming.
It's coming, whether it's next week or tomorrow or whatever.
Yep.
So that's what motivates me. Plus, like, and I mean, this is kind of like for the more advanced lifters. We've been doing it for so long, bro. I'm programmed.
Yeah, it's just wired.
Like I can't not go. Yeah. Like, I mean, there'd be times where I'm like, I'm not going.
It's part
and then I'm
of
just
your...
driving. It's lifestyle.
Boom.
That's what it is.
Yep.
That's the word. Yep. It's a lifestyle. And it's so cliche because everybody says it, but it's so true. Yep. Oh, it's a lifestyle. Yes, it is. It is.
And this isn't about what I do.
Yeah.
But I always, when I prescribe someone their program.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, I've never gone on a diet before. I'm like, time out. This is not a diet.
Right.
Because you're not being restricted. You can eat pretty much anything.
Up to your calorie.
Within control.
Yep.
This is not a diet.
Right.
This is just a controlled nutrition.
And the longer you do it, the longer and the longer and the longer, all of a sudden, boom, what happened?
You're not even thinking about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's just what you do.
You become adaptable. And I mean, I don't mean to go backwards again, but that goes back to like with the whole, like your side hustle, my side hustle, keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And then all of a sudden, man, it's like nothing. Like it's normal.
Yep.
You adapt to everything.
Yep.
What they say, I think it's like 20 was it like 21 days of like eating.
Yeah, there's like so long
of a
form
period.
habit, so long to
Yeah,
make
like
it
you're
a
in.
lifestyle. Yeah,
Yep. Something, yeah.
and it's a long time.
Very long
it's
time.
Not a week.
No.